All right, let me explain the glare situation. There's not a lot I can do about it. I apologize. If you have an answer, let me know. What am I talking about? The glare from these glasses. The bounce back from looking at this white spreadsheet just affects these glasses terribly. So I always have to look down about here, never at the screen, because if I look up, notice how bad the glare is. I apologize. Not a lot I can do with it. And I've tried all the lighting situations, but if you have an answer, please let me know. Back to the problem at hand. Count all rows that contain F5, F9. We have a bunch of numbers here. We're looking at this number 90, and we're going to count the number of rows that have 90 in it. We're going to use Control-Shift-Enter in some instances, older versions of Excel. You're going to be forced to use Control-Shift-Enter. I'm using 2021. I don't like Excel Online for any purpose, but in some cases, in some videos, we'll be forced to use Excel Online. What I'm talking about is 365 and Office 365. Over here is a detailed explanation. I'll walk through as to how this works. We're going to use sum, MMULT, transpose, and column to come up with this answer. Where will you use this? I don't have that answer, but getting a solid footing for this MMULT function is the purpose of this video. Let's see what's going on here. Brad Williams, Excel Prime, count all rows that contain F5. Count all rows. Here we're going to look at this list. We have a bunch of golf scores. And what we want to do is just count the rows that have, in this case, the first example, that have a 90. Now the challenge here is we're not counting the score 90, we're counting the rows, and then summing them up. And that can be problematic, okay? Because if we were looking at 90s, then our number would be way off because we count 90, 90. Here's a 90. There's another 90 in here somewhere. I know there's 5. 1, 2, 3. Maybe that's it. All we want are rows. That's the challenge here. The challenge is our 90s could be in the same row, but in different columns. That's where this MMULT matrix multiplier comes in, resolves this head-scratching, how do I figure this out, conundrum. So we've done this a couple times before, and this is just an extension. This is a duplicate of what we did previously. I just want to emphasize how to incorporate this thing. What's different here that I want to point out is the counting. What we're going to do is look at this layout here. What I did is I fixed this number on purpose, and then I intentionally had it equal. Then you can hit F9 and it'll go crazy on you. But I wanted to stress a point here as we progress. The formula, almost similar to what we did previously. Notice here, we have golf scores that equal 90. And then we still have this transpose, and we have this column scores greater than 0. The greater than 0 is just simply to force this into a number. And then we're going to convert that over into something readable. We're not using that exponent in this case. Let's dive into this thing head first. Here we're going to use MMULT. What it does, returns a matrix of 2 arrays. So we're multiplying A times B. Here it is. We're going to multiply array times array. Here, the first array is scores, our golf scores here equal 90. On our columns, column golf scores 53. What we're doing is we're looking at our columns 1, 2, 3, and we want to put them side by side. So go down here, and I broke this down, our little map here. Here's the first part of this thing. Here is the columns golf score. Columns 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Not a big deal. Then we're going to transpose those things. Why? Because that's the only way MMULT will work. We're going to transpose. We're going to take MMULT. Golf scores. Here are our golf scores right here. Because we're using this unary, we're just taking 1, 1, 0. It equal 90. We have 1, 1, and 0, and that's it. Hit F9. Just keep hitting F9. Here we have a total of 4, but our sum is only 2. As I said, counting rows. We're not counting scores. F9, F9. All right. And here, back up. I'm going to back up a second. Here's MMULT without the unary. False, 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 false. Here it is without the 0. And then we have a score here. No unary and no greater than. Got that? Now you're asking, well, where does this 5 come from? Here in this example, I just have the MMULT with unary and greater than 0, as shown above here. What happens if we remove this greater than 0? Well, this is just saying how many are greater than 0? Well, it just says true. And it says false, 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 false. Here, if you want to get rid of this unary, just do this. You're going to get this value error. We can't do that. What we're going to do is we're going to keep everything in sync here, except for we're going to get rid of that greater than 0. Remember, it's true. It's true because it's greater than 0. Here, we got a false. What's the point of this? If you look, you're going to go 5. What does that 5 mean? What? And why is it true? Well, we're not counting anything here. This is just the layout. All we did is multiply array times array. What we're going to do after that, we're going to sum. We're going to sum up anything greater than 0. Be sure to check out all of our Excel courses. Excel data and text manipulation. We have an advanced beginners and intermediate course. Excel essentials. This is for individuals new to Excel. We have an advanced, excellent beginners, level 1 and level 2, and intermediate level course. Excel formulas, formulas only. We have a beginner, an advanced, and an intermediate level course. Click on any of the links. There's a short video that explains everything about the course. Check it out. You're saying, well, we have 5, 4, 3, but you're only showing 3. What's going on here? Well, let's step back and let's look. Our goal here, we're looking for greater than 0. This is greater than 0. That would be 1. 4 is greater than 0. That would be 1. We're not asking sum up this information. We're just asking whatever in this cell, is it greater than 0? And yes, and that's a 1. So true is a 1, true is a 1, and true is a 1. Eventually, that's all we're going to add up, and that's why we get 3. Here's our answer. But how do we get here? Let's take a look here. Let's look at this array. F9. You remember this 2, 3, 4? We have this 2, 3, 4 deal. This is where it comes into play. We can't do this MMULT unless we have a multiplier. Here is the array 1, and then here's array 2. All we did is we looked at our columns, and then we transposed those to 2, 3, 4. And anytime we find, all we're going to do is multiply now. We got 1 times 2 is going to be 2. 1 times 3 is going to be 3. Notice we're just counting. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That's the end. All right, we're just the columns. 1, 2, 3 times our column. We're multiplying times our column. So it's 2. And then what happens is sum comes in and is going to add those 2 together. 2 plus 3 is 5. Hence, we get 5. Go down to the next one, F9, and we have comma, comma, semicolon. That's a break. Then we go down to the next row. We have 0, 0, 1. What are we going to multiply that times? Each one of these is going to be multiplied by the transposed number. And in this case, it's going to be 2, 3, 4. Let's look at this array. No, I want to look at this array, F9. You have to look carefully here. Let me try to blow this thing up. So then we look at our second, and you're going to see 0, 0, 1. So we're going to go 0 times 2, 0 times 3, and 1 times 4. And we're going to get 4. Go down to the next one, and so on and so forth. The next test are true or false. Is this greater than 0? Based on formula here. We're only going to sum if it's greater than 0. This is a true statement. Why? Because remember I said you got to put that 0 back in there? Remember I took out the 0? Put greater than 0, it's true. The unary? Okay, true, true, true. If we go here and here, number F9, and we're going to get 11000. Okay, then we're going to sum those up. And here, if we look at this, nope, we can't do that. Look at this, F9. See, we got 11000, F9, 234. The outcome is, as noted, 2. Read it if you need it, and break this down piece by piece. You know, this MMULT is really crazy. You're taking columns, and you're converting them over into rows so you can multiply them together. Kind of crazy. Ed Williams, XL Prime, Williams out.